Hello, my dear. I'm so glad you are here with me because it tells me that some part of you is ready to stop fighting with life and start shining again. You may have believed that you need to manifest harder, to visualize more, to say your affirmations with more intensity, as though abundance and love only come to those who strain. I want to offer you a much softer truth. You are not missing magnetism. You are not broken. You are not behind. Very often, it is not that you lack light. It is that you have been taught to keep turning the dimmer switch down on yourself. When your light is allowed to glow, ideas seem to arrive more easily. The right people notice you. The opportunities begin to feel like a natural part of your day. And when you are living in your own shadow, it does not necessarily mean you are unlucky. It often means you are so used to bracing and doubting that you cannot quite see the path that is already forming under your feet. You are not wrong, my darling. You are simply practicing an old habit. And today we are going to gently teach your light a new way to be. When I say the light was everything, I am not talking about something mystical you have to chase or worship from far away. I am talking about something very immediate and practical. Your light is, first, your attention. Wherever you place your focus, you are shining a little beam of life force. Your light is also your belief. The quiet conclusions you keep repeating to yourself about what is possible for you and what is not. And your light is the way you treat yourself in the privacy of your own mind, whether your inner voice is harsh and cold or warm and encouraging. These three together, where you look, what you believe, and how you speak to yourself, create the glow around you. You do not live inside objects. You live inside the meanings you give to them. The same apartment can feel like a prison or a sanctuary, depending on which light you bring to it. The same bank balance can feel like humiliation or like a starting point. When you change the way you look, name, and respond, you are changing the quality of light in which your whole life unfolds. Think of your attention as a little flashlight you carry everywhere. You wake up in the morning and you can shine it on everything that is missing, everything that hurts, everything that is not enough. Or you can begin to train it towards the places where life is already supporting you, even in small ways. Two people can walk through the same day, meet the same weather, the same traffic, the same emails, and have completely different experiences because one is shining their light on every annoyance and the other is shining their light on every little bit of help. I am not asking you to deny pain or pretend that difficulties do not exist. I am asking you to notice that you have a choice about where you linger. When you start calling a challenge a chance to grow, instead of proof that I am cursed, you have already shifted the energy. When you look at a bill and say, "This is life trusting me to handle more," instead of "This is life punishing me," you have changed the conversation. These are not empty words. They are gentle turns of the dial, moving you toward a brighter setting. Now let us talk about darkness, because many of you are very afraid of your dark moods and habits. I see darkness not as a powerful enemy, but as light that has been covered for a while. Darkness, in the way I use the word, is not evil. It is often your own hurt, unhealed and hiding. It shows up as self-judgment, where you stand over yourself like a strict parent and tell yourself that you are never enough. It shows up as self-doubt, where you do not dare take a step because you have already decided you will fail. It shows up as frantic rushing, where you move so quickly that your softer feelings cannot catch up. And most painfully, it shows up as self-abandonment, the habit of leaving yourself emotionally just when you need your own kindness the most. I want you to know that none of this makes you a bad person. It makes you a person who learned to survive. Remember, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Every time you become aware of one of these dark patterns, you are already bringing a little candle into the room. You do not have to fight the darkness. You only have to be willing to lift the cover from your own light. I like to think of some of these habits as light leaks. Your lamp is on, but there are little cracks where the brightness keeps slipping away. One of the most common leaks is complaining. Notice how easy it is to spend 10 minutes or an hour retelling everything that went wrong, how someone mistreated you, how the day never goes your way. There is already pain there, and then you aim your flashlight at it and keep it there and feed it again and again. In the moment, it may feel like relief, but over time, it becomes the atmosphere you live in. You know, my dear, every complaint is also an affirmation. You are telling life, this is what I want to keep noticing. You do not have to force yourself into fake cheerfulness. You can acknowledge what hurts and then gently reach for one more helpful thought. Yes, this was hard, and I am proud of myself for how I handled it. Yes, that person was unkind, and I am learning to set better boundaries. Yes, today was messy, and tomorrow gives me another chance. You close the leak not by denying your feelings, but by refusing to stand in the rain without ever looking for shelter. Another light leak is the way you talk to yourself when nobody else can hear. So many of you have learned to motivate yourselves with criticism. What's wrong with you? You should be further along by now. You always mess things up. You picked up this voice from somewhere. A parent, a teacher, a culture obsessed with perfection, and you swallowed it and made it your own. But that does not mean it belongs to you. You have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Imagine, just for a moment, that you spoke to yourself the way you would speak to a dear friend who is trying something new. You would not call them names because they were scared. You would not tell them they were stupid because they made a mistake. You would say, "Of course you are nervous. Of course you are learning. I am right here with you." Your nervous system hears every word you direct inward. When you begin to say, "I am learning," instead of, "I am hopeless," your body relaxes. When you whisper to yourself, "I am willing to be on my own side," you are repairing years of inner abandonment. Little by little, the room inside you becomes a kinder place to live. The third leak I want to talk about today is rushing. We live in a world that worships speed. You are praised for being busy, for being productive, for cramming your days so full that there is no room left to breathe. But when you are always in a hurry, you cannot feel your own light. You skim the surface of your life. You miss the small nudges from your intuition, the gentle invitations from the universe, the quiet moments that could have nourished you. Rushing is often a disguise for fear. Fear that if you stop, the truth will catch up with you, or that if you relax, everything will fall apart. And yet, my darling, think of how many of your best ideas have come not when you were forcing them, but when you were in the shower, or on a walk, or staring out of a window. Guidance loves space. Abundance loves openness. Love loves presence. You do not have to remodel your entire schedule overnight. You can begin by giving yourself 30 seconds between tasks to feel your feet on the floor, to take one deep breath, to say quietly, I have time for what truly matters. I can move in peace. As you slow your inner tempo, you send a new message to life. I am available to receive. You see now why I say you do not need to add more light to yourself. The light has always been there. You arrived with it. The work we are doing together is simply closing the places where it leaks away unnecessarily. When you complain less and appreciate more, your light grows steadier. When you attack yourself less and encourage yourself more, your light grows warmer. When you rush less and listen more, your light grows clearer. This is how you begin to attract abundance, love, and new beginnings. Not by begging life to notice you, but by becoming someone who finally notices herself. When you sit in your own company and say, I am willing to stop dimming myself, you are training life in how to respond to you. You are saying, I am ready to be visible to my own heart. I am ready to be kind to my own mind. I am ready to step into my own glow. You are doing the best you can until you find a better way. And now, my dear, a better way is exactly what you are learning. So let us end this part with a few gentle truths you can carry with you today. You do not have to manifest harder. You are allowed to rest in the knowing that your light is enough. You do not have to be afraid of your darkness. It is only where your light has not been welcomed yet. You do not need to become a different person. You are invited to become a softer friend to the person you already are. You might like to say with me now, slowly, like a quiet promise, I am willing to close the leaks. I am willing to see my own light. I am willing to let life meet me here. Feel how your body responds to those words. Feel how your heart, somewhere deep inside, recognizes them. The next few minutes, I want to invite you to play with your mind in a very different way than you may be used to. Not by forcing yourself to be positive, not by pretending that you never feel afraid or sad, but by gently training the way you shine your inner light. I often think of your mind as a little projector sitting right inside your head and your heart. The film running through it is your habitual thinking, the stories you keep telling yourself about who you are and what life is. The brightness of the projector is how much you believe those stories and how much you are willing to treat yourself with kindness. And the screen out in front of you, that is your daily experience. You cannot always control what appears on the screen, but you can learn to work with the film and the brightness inside the projector. When you push yourself to be positive and you scold yourself every time you feel low, you are actually tightening the projector. You are making it buzz and rattle. That is effort, tension, strain. When you train the light gently, you are learning how to hold the projector in your own hands with love. You are saying, I am willing to notice what I am playing. I am willing to soften how I talk to myself. I am willing to choose one kinder sentence. That is all, not a performance, a retraining. You see, my darling, there is a big difference between forcing joy and allowing light. Forcing joy sounds like, I must be happy. Something is wrong if I feel anything else. I should be grateful. I should not think this way. It is another way of attacking yourself. Allowing light sounds like, I see that I am scared right now. I see that I am telling myself a very harsh story. I am willing to breathe with this. I am willing to speak to myself more gently. One way tightens your body, the other loosens it. One way feeds the old movie of never being enough, the other begins to write a different script. You do not have to throw the whole projector away. You do not have to erase every old film in one afternoon. You can simply begin to notice what you are shining, and then you can choose what you would like to shine a little more often. To make this simple for you, I want to give you a little formula you can carry in your pocket. I call it the 3S: spot, soften, switch. When you use it regularly, you begin to feel that you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the one holding the remote control, and you are learning how to use it with love. Remember, we are not here to fight with the mind. We are here to teach it a kinder way to look. The first S is spot. This simply means becoming aware of what you are currently projecting. You might catch yourself thinking, nothing ever works out for me, or I always mess things up, or no one ever stays. You may feel the familiar heaviness in your chest, the sinking in your stomach. Instead of believing that thought as the truth, you pause and say, oh, there is that old film again. There is that old story I have played for so many years. You are not wrong for having it. You are simply spotting it, like noticing a cloud passing in the sky. Remember, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. When you can name it, you have already created a little space between you and the old movie. The second S is soften. This is where you change the tone of the voice inside your head. Many of you have an inner voice that sounds like a strict teacher or a disappointed parent. When you soften, you deliberately shift that voice to something more like a wise, loving aunt or a gentle friend. You might say, of course you are thinking that. You have practiced this sentence for years. Or, no wonder you are afraid. You went through a lot. Or, sweetheart, of course you feel tired. You have been carrying so much. Do you feel the difference? You are still in contact with reality. You are not denying your feelings, but you are sprinkling kindness into the sentence. You are letting your body know that it is no longer being shouted at. When you soften the tone, your nervous system begins to trust you. It says, maybe it is safe to stay here with myself. Maybe I do not have to run away. The third S is switch. Only after you have spotted and softened do you reach for a new sentence. This is where your affirmations come in. If the old film says, "Nothing ever works out for me," the new one might say, "More and more, life is finding ways to support me." If the old film says, "I always mess things up," the new one might say, "I am learning. I am allowed to make mistakes and grow." If the old one says, "No one ever stays," the new one might say, "I am attracting people who are capable of love, and I am learning to be that person for myself." At first, the new sentences may feel shaky, as though the projector is flickering. That is all right. You do not have to believe them 100% on the first day. You only need to be willing to try them on. Every time you gently switch to the new sentence, you are putting a new film into the projector. Repeat enough times, and the new movie becomes the one your mind knows by heart. You might say to me, "But Louise, I have been thinking negatively for so long. Is it too late?" And I would say to you, "My darling, it is never too late to learn a kinder language with yourself." The mind loves patterns. It does not care whether the pattern is painful or loving. It simply repeats whatever it knows best. When you use spot, soften, switch, you are giving it a new pattern to love. Perhaps today you will only remember to do it once, in the middle of a difficult moment. That is wonderful. That one time is a seed. Tomorrow you may remember twice. Next week, 5 times. One morning you will realize that you are spotting a harsh thought almost as soon as it appears, softening your voice almost automatically, and switching to an affirmation that feels like home. This is what I mean by training the light. Not whipping the light, not demanding that it be bright all the time, but coaxing it, guiding it, inviting it to shine in ways that feel safe and true for you. Now, let us turn to another beautiful way of working with your inner projector, blessing. I have always loved the word bless. For me, it means to surround something with love and to see it through the eyes of the heart. In my earlier work, I often said, "Bless your job, bless your bills, bless your body, bless your past," because blessing changes your relationship with life. Today, I want to add a little modern understanding that might help you trust this even more. When you bless something, you are not just sending it love. You are also sending a message to your own brain and body. You are teaching your nervous system. This world is not only danger, there are also places where I am safe. You are teaching your mind, I am not only attacked, I am also supported. You are teaching your heart, I have the right to receive good. In this way, blessing is a kind of programming. It is a way of gently rewriting what your inner projector expects to see. Many people have been taught to bless as a way of trying to earn favor from some faraway authority. If I am good enough, if I bless enough, perhaps I will be rewarded. I am not interested in that kind of fear-based bargain. I am interested in you feeling at home in your own life. When you bless your day, you are not bribing a stern universe. You are calming your own alarms. You are saying, I choose to move through this day as someone who is allowed to be helped. When you bless your body, you are not pretending it is perfect. You are telling your cells, you are welcome here. I am on your side. When you bless your work, even if it is not your final destination. You are not resigning yourself forever. You are saying, I am willing to let good things happen even here. This quiet, steady practice tells your subconscious, we live in a world where kindness is possible, where good things can come, where I am not forever shut out. Over time, your projector begins to expect these possibilities, and you start noticing doors you did not see before. Let us do a little blessing sweep together. It will only take about 60 seconds, and you can repeat it anytime. In the morning before you start your day, in the car, in the shower, as you get into bed. First, take a gentle breath in, and as you exhale, feel your shoulders soften just a little. We begin with the body. Silently say, I bless my body with love. You do not have to like every part of it right now. You can simply acknowledge, thank you, body, for carrying me through this life. Thank you for all you do that I never even see. If there is a part that hurts, you might whisper inside, I am listening. I am willing to learn how to care for you. This alone can begin to unwind years of tension. Next, let your awareness move to your home, whatever it looks like today. It may be a palace or a small room. It may be exactly what you want or a temporary place on the way to something new. Say quietly, I bless my home with love. May this space be a place of rest and safety for me. May I feel supported here. In blessing your home, you are not denying any changes you wish to make in the future. You are simply allowing your nervous system to feel that right now there is at least one place on earth where you are allowed to exhale. Now think of your work. It might be a job, your studies, your daily tasks, or the work of caring for others. Even if it feels heavy sometimes, even if it is not where you wish to be forever, say, I bless my work with love. I bless the people I interact with. I bless my own efforts. Let yourself imagine that every email, every conversation, every task has the potential to carry a little kindness through you into the world. You are programming your inner projector to see work not only as pressure, but also as a channel through which life can move. Let your awareness travel to the paths you walk and the roads you travel, the route to the store, to your job, to your children's school. Say, I bless the roads I travel today. May I be guided and protected. May I be kind to myself and others on the way. When you do this, you may notice that you drive a little more gently, that your reactions soften when someone cuts in front of you, that you feel less alone in all the comings and goings of the day. Finally, bring to mind one person who feels difficult for you right now, someone you tend to brace around, someone who activates your old stories. This is the most powerful part of the blessing sweep because it tells your whole system, I can stay open even when I am triggered. I do not have to collapse into fear. You do not have to approve of their behavior. You do not have to invite them closer. Simply say inside, I bless you with love, and I release you to your own good. I am willing to see myself as safe, even in your presence. In doing this, you are removing the hook that keeps you entangled. You are training your projector to expect freedom, not constant danger. When you finish this little sweep, Notice how your body feels. Perhaps you feel a tiny bit softer, a bit more present, a bit less braced. That is the point. You are not trying to force miracles. You are creating an inner atmosphere where miracles feel at home. You are no longer waiting for the world to become safe so that you can finally relax. You are allowing your own light to signal safety from the inside out. Spot, soften, switch, bless, bless, bless. None of this is about perfection. It is about direction. Each small practice is one more turn toward the life you truly want to live. Remember that you are the one holding the projector. You can notice the old films without condemning yourself. You can soften the voice that used to tear you down. You can choose even one new sentence that feels a little more loving. You can bless your body, your home, your work, your roads, and even those who challenge you, not to earn a reward, but to teach your whole being that it is safe to shine. You are not behind, my darling. You are learning. You are growing. You are training your light. And as you do, the world you see will begin to change. Let's talk about abundance, my dear, in a way that feels softer and truer than the old stories you may have been given. So many people have been taught that abundance is a number in a bank account, a certain salary, a certain house, a certain brand of car. And then they chase and chase and chase, and even if they reach the number, they still feel empty or frightened or always on guard. I want you to imagine abundance in a different way. Think of it as a living current, a beautiful circulation that moves through you and around you. It often begins with a divine idea, a little spark in your mind that becomes an action, that creates value for someone, that brings a result, and that result opens the door to a new idea, a new action, a wider life. Idea, action, value, result, expansion. This is how life breathes through you. You are not meant to be a stagnant pond where nothing moves and everything gets murky. You are meant to be a river, flowing, replenishing, receiving, and giving, again and again. When you begin to love yourself, this flow becomes so much easier. Self-love is not just sitting in a corner whispering nice things to yourself, though that can be beautiful. Self-love shows up in your choices. When you care about yourself, you choose more clearly. You say yes to the things that truly align with your heart. Instead of saying yes just to avoid displeasing someone, you say no with kindness when something drains you or violates your boundaries. You feed your body with food that supports you instead of punishing you. You allow yourself to rest because you no longer believe that exhaustion is a badge of worth. Each of these little acts of love tells life, I am ready to be part of a healthy circulation. You are no longer leaking your energy in 100 directions. You are sending a steady signal. I value myself, and I am willing to participate in the flow of good. Abundance, in this sense, is not something you chase outside of you. It is something you participate in. Think of a simple example. A divine idea comes. You feel inspired to learn a skill, to offer a small service, to create something that delights you. You take one small action. You share a post, you talk to a friend, you make a phone call, you design a little offering. Someone receives value, They feel helped, uplifted, relieved, entertained. A result comes back, perhaps money, perhaps an opportunity, perhaps a new relationship, perhaps simply the joy in their eyes. That result expands you. It gives you more experience, more confidence, more resources. From that expansion, a new idea is born, and the cycle continues. Do you see? Real prosperity is rarely a lightning bolt. It is a living rhythm between you and life. My good flows freely and joyously now. That is not magic. It is circulation. Now let us look very gently at the ways many of you block this circulation without even realizing it. One way is to receive with guilt. Someone offers to help you and you immediately say, "Oh no, I don't want to bother you," even though your heart longs for support. You are given a compliment and you deflect it. "Oh, it's nothing," instead of letting it land. You finally receive some money or a blessing, and your first reaction is, "I don't really deserve this." Each time you do this, you are telling the universe, "I am not a safe place for good to land." Your light says yes, but your guilt says no. It is like trying to pour water into a cup that keeps turning itself upside down. You do not have to blame yourself for this. You were probably trained to feel guilty for every bit of pleasure, but you can begin to practice a new way. When someone offers you something kind, try simply saying, "Thank you. That means a lot to me," and breathing it in. You are training your nervous system to allow goodness without panic. Another way of blocking the flow is giving only to be recognized. This is a subtle one. You give and give and give, but underneath you are hoping that if you give enough, you will finally be seen, thanked, loved, chosen. When the recognition does not come in the way you imagined, you feel resentful and drained. That is not true giving. That is bargaining. The energy of it is tight and fearful, and it does not create the nourishment you truly want. True giving comes from fullness, from an inner place that says, "I enjoy letting love move through me," not from, "If I do this, you will finally prove I am worthy." When you love yourself, you start to give with clearer boundaries. You might say, "I am happy to help here," and also, "This is not mine to carry." The flow becomes cleaner. What you give comes from honesty, not from desperation. And what comes back to you feels less like a bone tossed in your direction and more like a natural answer to your openness. The third way we often choke the flow is by working without rest, as though pausing for breath will cause everything to collapse. You push and push and push, and you call it being responsible, while inside you is a terrified child who thinks that if she slows down, she will be punished or abandoned. But creativity does not thrive in a body that is constantly in emergency mode. Divine ideas do not like to shout over a racing mind. Abundance is not just more activity. It is wise activity, inspired activity, supported by periods of stillness. When you refuse to rest, you tell life, "I do not trust you to carry any part of this. I alone must hold it all up." That is a very lonely belief. When you put your head on the pillow at night and say, "For this next few hours, I let life help me," I allow solutions to come while I sleep. You are reopening the current. You are stepping out of the role of the overworked controller and back into the role of co-creator. Now, since we are talking about co-creating, we must talk about divine ideas, because abundance nearly always begins as a thought, a nudge, a whisper. So many of you pray for outcomes. Give me money. Give me a partner. Give me a new job. Give me a miracle. There is nothing wrong with asking, but I want to show you an even more powerful way. Instead of begging for finished products, begin to ask for the right ideas. A divine idea is a thought that carries life in it. It often feels simple, clear, sometimes even ordinary, and yet it opens doors. You will notice that these ideas rarely arrive when you are straining. They like to slip in through the cracks, in the shower, on a quiet walk, just before sleep, in the pause after a deep breath. They come when you are not yelling at yourself, when you have loosened your grip enough for something new to land. Think back over your life and see if you can remember a time when something just came to you. Perhaps you suddenly thought of a person to call, and that conversation led to an opportunity. Perhaps you woke up one morning with a fresh way to solve a problem that had tormented you for weeks. Perhaps, while washing dishes, you thought, what if I tried it this way? And everything became easier. That is a divine idea. It does not always come with angels and trumpets. It often comes disguised as a quiet, practical thought that feels a little lighter than your usual worries. When you say to life, show me the next right idea, you are inviting this kind of guidance. You are saying, I do not need the entire staircase right now. Give me one step I can take in love. That is a prayer the universe delights in answering. To make room for these ideas, you need what I like to call idea hygiene. Just as you brush your teeth and wash your face, your mind also needs tending. Many of you spend hours filling your mental space with noise, scrolling through bad news, arguments, and other people's fears. Then you wonder why you feel heavy and uninspired. I am not saying you must ignore the world, but I am inviting you to notice how you feel after you soak in certain kinds of information. Doom scrolling, endlessly consuming negative stories, tells your inner projector, expect danger, expect failure, expect disappointment. It leaves very little room for fresh, loving ideas to land. Constantly engaging in arguments, whether online or in your head, keeps your mind on the battlefield, not in the garden where new seeds can grow. Idea hygiene means you consciously reduce the noise and increase the signal. Instead of an hour of anxious scrolling, perhaps you choose to read 5 pages of a book that uplifts you. 5 pages is not a lot, but it tells your mind, we are interested in wisdom. Instead of listening to angry voices, you play a short piece of healing audio, maybe a meditation, maybe some gentle music, maybe a talk that reminds you that you are loved. Instead of letting your thoughts spiral aimlessly, you sit down and write 5 lines in a notebook. Here is what I am feeling. Here's what I am afraid of. Here is one small thing I would like help with today. These tiny practices may seem too simple to matter, but they change the atmosphere inside you. They turn down the volume on fear and turn up the volume on guidance. You might say, "But Louise, I don't have much time." And I would smile and say, "My darling, give your mind 10 minutes a day of clean, loving input and watch what happens. 10 minutes of reading something encouraging. 10 minutes of listening to something that reminds you of your worth. 10 minutes of writing your honest feelings and then adding one kinder thought over a week, a month, a year. This time adds up. You are not at the mercy of the world's noise. You are the gatekeeper of your own mental home. You can decide, today I will let in more ideas that support me than ideas that crush me. As you practice these things, allowing abundance to be a flow instead of a constant battle, noticing where you block the circulation, asking for ideas instead of only outcomes, tending to your idea hygiene, you are training your inner projector in a very specific way. You are teaching it to expect participation instead of helplessness. You are teaching it to expect guidance instead of constant confusion. You are teaching it to expect a world in which it is possible for you to be supported. And as always, what you expect with love, you begin to see more of. I am open and receptive to all the good and abundance in the universe. That is a beautiful affirmation, and it becomes even more powerful when your daily habits begin to match it. So tonight, or perhaps right after this recording ends, I invite you to try a small experiment. Put down your phone for a few minutes. Take a gentle breath. Place a hand on your heart and say, "I am willing to be part of the flow of good." Then ask, "Show me one loving idea I can act on today." Do not strain. Do not demand. Just listen. Maybe the idea will come immediately. Maybe it will arrive later, while you are washing your hands or tying your shoes. When it comes, write it down and take one tiny step toward it. In doing so, you will be moving out of the old story of lack and into a living relationship with life. You are not here to beg at the door of abundance. You are here to discover that the door has always been inside you. There was a woman who came to one of my workshops many years ago, and all through the first evening she kept saying the same sentence over and over again. "I'm stuck, Louise. I'm just stuck. There's no way out of this." You could almost feel the heaviness of those words in the room, like a thick fog around her chair. At the break, she came up to me and said it again. "You don't understand. I'm really stuck." And I looked at her and smiled and said, "My darling, I don't doubt that your situation is challenging, but I want you to know that the words 'I'm stuck' are not helping you. Every time you say them, you are closing another little door in your mind." She looked surprised, almost offended. Nobody had ever told her that her language was part of the prison. I said, "Will you play with me? Instead of saying, 'I'm stuck,' could you try, 'I'm learning a new way'?" She repeated it softly, almost reluctantly. "I'm learning a new way." And you know what happened? Her shoulders dropped. Her face softened. She took a deeper breath. Nothing in her outer life had changed in that moment, but inside, a tiny light went on. That is the power of changing even one sentence. This is what I mean when I say that language is a light switch. So many of you are walking around with phrases in your mouths that dim you without you even noticing. "I'm stuck." There is no way. It never works for me. This is just who I am. These are not neutral sentences. They are little spells you cast on your own life. Each time you repeat them, you reinforce the idea that the hallway has no doors, that the path has no turn, that the story has no new chapter. I am not asking you to pretend that everything is wonderful when it doesn't feel that way. I am inviting you to choose sentences that keep a window open. Instead of "I'm stuck," you might say, "I am in the middle of learning something new." Instead of "there's no way," you might say, "the way is appearing one step at a time." Do you feel the difference? One set of words slams the door, the other leaves it ajar. When you change your language, you are not lying to yourself. You are choosing which part of the truth you want to grow. It may be true that you don't yet see the solution. It is also true that you have lived through many things you once thought you could not handle. Both are facts. When you say, "I'm learning a new way," you are choosing to align with the part of you that grows. When you say, "the path is appearing one step at a time," you remind yourself that life does not give you the whole map at once. It gives you the next little stone to put your foot on. I am willing to change. That is one of my very favorite affirmations. Notice it does not say, "I have already changed," or "everything is perfect." It simply says, "I am willing." Willingness is the crack where the light comes through. So let's do a tiny practice together. I want you to think of one dark sentence you say to yourself often, just one. Maybe it is, "I'll never get out of this job," or "I always ruin relationships," or "I can't handle money," or "this is hopeless." Don't judge yourself for it. Just notice it, as though you are overhearing an old recording. Now, on a piece of paper or in your mind, rewrite that sentence in the present tense as a light sentence. "I'll never get out of this job" becomes, "I am opening to new opportunities, one step at a time." "I always ruin relationships" becomes, "I am learning to show up in love in healthier and healthier ways." "I can't handle money" becomes, "I am learning to work with money in a wise, loving way." "This is hopeless" becomes, "I am open to seeing this differently." It does not have to be poetic. It only has to keep the door open. You might feel a little resistance. That is all right. You are changing the wiring of your inner light switch. Now, my dear, I want to give you something very practical, something you can come back to every day if you like, a little 7-minute ritual to train the light, not to whip it into shape, not to force yourself to be cheerful, but to give your mind and body a daily taste of what it feels like when your light is steady. You can do this in the morning, before you pick up your phone, or in the evening, before you go to sleep. You can do it in your living room, your bedroom, even in the bathroom, if that is the only quiet place you have. All that matters is your willingness. For the first minute, we begin with what I call light posture. Stand up if you can, with your feet about hip-width apart. Feel the ground underneath you. Let your knees be a little soft so you're not locked. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears, as though some kind presence is gently pressing them down and back. Let your face soften. You don't need to hold any expression. Let your eyes be soft, even if they are open. Now, in this simple posture, say to yourself, "My light is steady." Again, "My light is steady." One more time, "My light is steady." You are not forcing yourself to shine. You are aligning your body with the idea that you are allowed to stand here, present and supported. Think of a lamp that is plugged in, not flickering, not being shaken, just quietly glowing. For the next 2 minutes, we move into mirror softening. If you have a mirror nearby, stand or sit in front of it. If not, simply close your eyes and imagine looking into your own eyes. This is not about checking your hair or judging your face. It is about meeting yourself. Gaze gently into your eyes and in a slow, kind voice, say, "I am here with you." Feel those words land. You might even place a hand on your heart or your cheek. Then add, "You are not alone." Let yourself feel the weight of that. So much of your pain comes from the belief that you have been abandoned, even by yourself. Now say, "We can do this gently. You and you, the frightened part and the wise part, the tired part and the loving part. I am here with you. You are not alone. We can do this gently. If emotions come, let them. Tears are just old tightness melting. For the next 2 minutes, we flow into a blessing sweep. Stay where you are, or sit down if that feels better. Bring your awareness first to your body. Silently say, "I bless my body with love." It does not matter what size, what shape, what age you are. I bless my body with love. Then bring your attention to your home, whatever it looks like today. I bless my home with love. It might be messy. It might be in transition. I bless my home with love. Next, think of your work or your daily responsibilities and say, "I bless my work with love." Then bring to mind one person in your life. It could be someone dear or someone difficult, and say, "I bless you with love." Finally, think of one opportunity, however small, that is in front of you. A conversation, a class, a project, a tiny step. I bless this opportunity with love. In just a couple of minutes, you have told your nervous system, there is love available in my body, my home, my work, my relationships, and my future. You are programming safety, not in a childish way, but in a very deep adult way. For the last 2 minutes, we invite divine ideas. Sit down comfortably with a piece of paper or a little notebook if you can. Take a gentle breath and write this question at the top. What idea wants to move through me today? Or, if you like, what idea today would serve my highest good? Then, without judging or analyzing, write down 3 small hints that come to you. They might be very simple. Take a walk at lunchtime. Send that email. Rest for 20 minutes. Finish that one task. Call this person. Drink more water. You are not looking for the 10-year business plan. You are opening the door to one step of cooperation with life. If nothing comes right away, that is all right. You can simply sit with the question and trust that the answers will come later. The point is that you are turning your attention from what if everything goes wrong to how can I let something good move through me today? As you practice this little 7-minute ritual, you might start to notice some very quiet shifts. These are what I call the signs that your light is growing stronger. The first sign is that you find yourself reacting a little less or a little more slowly. The old you might have snapped immediately when someone forgot something or cut you off in traffic or didn't answer your message. The new you pauses for a breath. Maybe you still feel the irritation, but there is a bit more space around it. You catch yourself before the words fly out. You notice the familiar trigger and choose a softer response. That space is your light. It is the part of you that is no longer being jerked around by every external stimulus. You are beginning to respond instead of automatically react. The second sign is that you begin to spot small solutions more easily. Where you once saw only walls, you start noticing little doors. It might be as simple as thinking, I could ask for help with this, when before you would have tried to carry it all alone. Or, I could break this into 3 steps instead of, it's impossible. Or, I could learn something new instead of, I just can't. Divine ideas begin to feel less like rare miracles and more like a natural part of your day. When your light is dim, your mind is focused on problems, on what's wrong, on how stuck you are. When your light grows stronger, your mind becomes more interested in possibilities. You are the same person in the same world, but the way you scan your environment has shifted. The third sign is that you begin to experience being helped in ways that surprise you. A friend texts you just when you were thinking of them. A book falls off a shelf at the bookstore with exactly the sentence you needed. A stranger says something kind at the grocery store. A small refund arrives when you were worried about money. An idea pops into your mind in the shower that unknots a problem. These may not be huge, dramatic miracles, but they are little winks from life saying, I am here with you. I want you to learn to count these as miracles. If you wait only for the big, flashy events, the lottery win, the sudden perfect partner, the overnight transformation, you will miss the gentle, daily proofs that your light is interacting with the world in a new way. Remember, the universe speaks in whispers long before it shouts. So, as we come to a close for now, let me gather all of this into one loving sentence for you. Your inner light is not meant to be a weapon to control life. It is meant to be a lantern that helps you stop being so afraid of life. When you train your light, you are not trying to bully the universe into giving you what you want. You are learning to walk through your days with a softer heart, a clearer mind, a steadier presence. You are changing your language, tending your ideas, blessing your world, and showing up for yourself in the mirror. Piece by piece, word by word, breath by breath, you are teaching every cell in your body a new way to live. All is well in my world. That does not mean that nothing challenging ever happens. It means that inside there is a place of safety that you can come home to again and again. Before we finish, I would love for you to try one more affirmation with me. Place your hand gently on your heart or on your belly and say slowly, The light was everything, and that light lives in me. Again, a little more firmly. The light was everything, and that light lives in me. One more time, like a soft promise to your inner child. The light was everything, and that light lives in me. Feel those words sinking in. You do not have to earn this light. You do not have to qualify for it. It is your birthright. I am open and receptive to all the good and abundance in the universe. And that begins with the way you speak to yourself and the way you show up for your own heart. If you are choosing, in your own gentle way, to train your light, not perfectly, not all at once, but with willingness and tenderness, I would love for you to say it out loud or write it down. My light is steady. Let that be your little declaration. Your mind may wobble, your emotions may rise and fall, your circumstances may change, but there is a place in you that can learn to glow steadily. And as always, my dear, remember this: life loves you, and so do I.